Hello, how are you? All is well? Another day, another show. So, there's been a lot of song and dance going on about this G20. I have a slightly different take, and I'm going to talk about it. Um there really a fabulous book written by a guy called Greg Mortensen. It's a very old book. I read it about 15 years back. He and a guy called David Oliver wrote it. It's a fabulous book. Now, the title of the book is Three Cups of Tea. Uh, it's basically a book written in the the Himalayan range. People live in the mountains, correct? Now, it starts from Ladakh and goes all the way till the borders of Afghanistan, Pakistan, the whole Himalayan range where there's a Balti community that lives there. There's a community called Balti, Balti or Blati, Balti community that lives there. This guy, Greg Mortensen, basically a traveler, reached there and realized they had a very beautiful custom. And the custom was based on 3 cups of tea. Yeah. And the philosophy was the first cup of tea is when you get to know someone, acquaintance. The second cup of tea that you offer the person is a sign of friendship. And the third cup of tea is family. Uh, Based on this basic insight, Greg became extremely close to the Balti community, and I think he traveled all over the world, collected money, and built about 170, 180 schools for girls in that area. And those schools are located in really remote locations. He wrote a couple of books after that, and I think things went wrong. I don't know what happened, but yeah, this book, Three Cups of Tea, is possibly one of the finest books I've read. One, because it has got a great insight, and two, the purpose of Craig in that hilly area, he restored education to the girl child, which was actually fabulous. But that's not where I'm going. Where I'm going is, in life, diplomacy is so important. Diplomacy at multiple levels is so important. How you deal with people, how you conduct yourself, how you carry yourself. When you're in power, how do you carry yourself? When you're not in power, how do you carry yourself? And I think, in my view, India has had three statesmen prime ministers. We've had many political prime ministers, but three, in my view, this is my personal view. One is Pandit Nehru. Two is, I think, easily Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And three is Dr. Manmohan Singh. There's a big difference between being a statesman and being a politician. Unfortunately, most people don't graduate from being politicians to statesmen. Being a statesman is a very graceful, top order job. Uh, you handle complicated issues. You handle them with grace. You bring people on your side. There are speeches of Mr. Vajpayee in the parliament which are so beautiful. You can listen to them all the time. I think Manmohan Singh ran his diplomacy through silence. Sometimes it helps not to just keep reacting unnecessarily. Uh, so, it is such a uncomplicated space to be in. And I think Mr. Modi has missed a huge trick there. From being a politician to a statesman, he got a global platform. G20 was a huge platform. He could have been magnanimous. He could have been huge. He could have been. He could have shown the world a different side of himself. But he didn't do that. He made it his event. He made it very small. He did not invite a lot of people. He did not invite Mr. Kharge, who I think, in my view, is strategically wrong because he's the president of one of the largest parties in India. And for a state banquet, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be there. And as per protocol, even if he was not meant to be there, inviting him wouldn't have made you small. If anything, it would have made you big. So, I think Mr. Modi has missed this big opportunity of graduating from being a frontline, powerful, famous politician in India to being a front end statesman of this country. What's come out of G20 after those statements, in my view, it doesn't matter. Good for them. As far as I'm concerned, there's only a one line statement that G20 needs to deliver, and that is we will protect the environment for the future generation. If they're not able to do that, the rest is all academic. Anyway, uh, so I personally believe that he could have done a much better job with the optics of G20 for himself. I'm not talking for the country. I'm sure for the country, whatever comes, comes. At the other end, you've got Rahul Gandhi, who I think got a good breakthrough with his Bharat Jodo Yatra. Uh, I don't see any reason why he's in Brussels at this time of the year. He's sitting in Brussels, he's talking to some college kids, he's having some press conferences there. The world's top 20 leaders in India, the world's top most powerful media is in India. You should be here if you want to really make a point. Why are you there? Why are you there? Why are you talking to college kids and some bizarre reporters? You should be here. You if you they don't if there's no official invite for that, get the Press Club of India to host an event. Go there and meet them. Uh, but these are big opportunities that are being lost by people who are either wanting to come back to power or want to replace people who are in power. And I think the problem for both these men, Modi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, I think they're surrounded by people who are not advising them properly. It's a reflection of advisors. It has nothing to do with them. They are big leaders. They are busy. They've got multiple things to do. They take some judgmental calls, but broadly the advisors run the course. And I think uh, the advisors around Mr. Modi need to help him have three cups of tea with people who he does not agree with. It's very important. It's very important that uh, he leaves a mark as a statesman, not as a politician, and he hasn't got there yet. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, I think, has a completely different problem. He, I think, is being led by people who are not able to capture or rather capitalize the opportunities that Rahul Gandhi is creating for the party and for himself. They're just missing the trick completely. And it's quite obvious. I mean, if you ask anyone on the street, that's the response. By now, the big question, if not Modi, who should have been answered by someone, that's not being answered. Giving bizarre, uh, bizarre roundabout answers is not the answer to the question. So I just think uh, this event could have been a great opportunity for both the leaders, leader of the government, Mr. Modi, and leader of the opposition, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. And I think both of them have not used the event uh, for better advantage. Because in an event like this, there's very little you can do. The agendas, the protocols, the outcomes are defined by global bodies. You get in turn, you do your bit, and you come out. I think that the two big things that India could have actually gained from here was being seen as a more accommodating global power leader, and two, uh, the opposition could have been dealt much better by sidelining them, by tucking them away, uh, was not required, inappropriate. I mean, it. Everyone knows what's going on in the country. Everyone reads media. Global leaders come here with a lot of data, a lot of information. They know who's doing what. They know what is going on. They are not stupid, and we shouldn't treat them like they're stupid. And we know what is happening. And I keep saying this to everyone. Uh, a culture of a nation or a civilization stems from the leaders, and every bad behavior or good behavior percolates down to the society. It's like a percolator dam that you find in villages, where water seeps through the ear for the farmers. Culture seeps the same way to the civil society. Big leaders like Mr. Modi or Mr. Kharge or Rahul Gandhi, they should be mindful of all these things. Their body language, how are they talking, who are they talking to, what are they saying. These things travel. These things travel, these things travel, these things travel to a point where you can't even imagine. Uh, and I just think Mr. Modi has lost a huge trick as far as G20 is concerned. Uh, and I think he could have just used uh, the three cups of tea theory and build bridges, build bridges long term, left a mark. He could have just been seen as a huge statesman who has everyone on his side. Currently, the world has left with an impression that there are two sides in the country. I mean, that is not required for a global audience. It's dirty laundry. We need to wash it internally. We don't have to wash it on a global platform. Uh, so I just think both the men, the current Prime Minister and his prospective challenger, have actually missed a big trick on how they could have capitalized on G20, the event, the platform. I mean, event management, song and light, dance, all that is fine. Nobody's bothered about that. These are big leaders, they see it all the time. They don't get impressed by all this. What they get impressed is by the optics, what is going on, what is the language, who's doing what. And I think that is where India lost a big opportunity, a big trick. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it, I've been following it. This is my bit on this. I am not going to comment about the declaration. And those, I mean, we have no control over. In fact, even in India, the country will have no control over that. That's controlled by a global platform, and they put it together. So yeah, this is my two bit on the G20. Lots of money has been spent on it. I wish the money could have been spent well, but yeah, who am I to comment about all those things? Yeah, my two bits on this. If you get an opportunity, read the book. It's a beautiful book, Three Cups of Tea. Uh, it's a life-changing book, and I think all our leaders need to read it currently. At least they will become a lot more accommodating and less aggressive. And yeah, that's my bit for the day. Have fun. See you soon. And yeah, thank you. Bye.